Can you kick things off with opening statement?
Yeah, excited to be back in the championship game. Really appreciate our fans showing up today. It sounded loud over our dugout with a lot of Clemson Tiger fans cheering us on. So that was great. These two guys, JJ and Gov, were the two storylines of the day, I thought. We had great relief pitching by McGovern and what he did to hold down a very dangerous offense. Georgia Tech is a great offense. They can score in bunches and score in a hurry, and had all three pitches working and using the changeup when he needed to. And we had 6 2-out RBIs today, and none bigger than JJ's 2-out grand slam to flip the scoreboard, which was huge. So JJ's had a ton of big hits. I don't know if any of the hits were bigger than the one today. That was massive at the time, and allowed us to continue to tack on some runs. And the relief pitching we got from Joe Allen and McGovern, and even Talon had some tough luck with some errors early, but I thought we pitched well today, and we did what we had to do to get to tomorrow. So excited to be in the game tomorrow, excited to stay here for one more day, and excited to keep playing the tournament.
Thanks, Coach. We'll open up to questions.
For both the Jacobs, Georgia Tech's lineup is pretty dangerous. Can you talk about, your approach through those innings, just stacking zeros after, they take the early lead. You guys took the momentum back and you two were able to kind of maintain it.
Start with Jacob and go.
For me, it's easy knowing the defense I have behind me, to make the plays. It's easy to just go out and give it my best, and I know the 8 guys behind me are gonna, give it everything they have. So for me, it's easy. I just go about my business and trust that everybody else will go about theirs.
It starts with scouting, coaches, especially Bailey, Bellinger. Just going through the scouting stuff with him, and kind of knowing, Georgia Tech's a good offense. Almost every single guy, is almost hitting above 300. And they have a lot of threats. So a lot of that just starts with scouting, and just kind of how we attack hitters.
Coach, you mentioned on Thursday that Gerald's one that every success he has, he truly earns. Just for you, what does it mean to see him have the grand slam that ultimately propels this group to the ACC championship?
Yeah, it means that, a longstanding belief that the game rewards hardworking people and life rewards hardworking people. But like I mentioned the other night, nobody works harder than JJ. And so for him to see the game just give him these opportunities, it's no surprise that he comes through and cashes in on them just because of the investment of time and energy and blood, sweat, and tears he's put in those deposits over the years, his whole life, really. He's built for these moments, this type of environment, postseason type baseball, clutch performances. It's what he literally works for. And so to get those opportunities to be in those positions, nobody's earned it more than him.
JJ, you've had a lot of clutch hits, but against Georgia Tech specifically this year, you kind of killed their pitching. Is there something that you're seeing from their pitching that's, made it a little bit easier on you against them, or is it just kind of coincidental that it's against Georgia Tech when you've had some monster home runs?
Honestly, it's just like I said earlier, it's just scouting, the coaches do a lot of stuff behind closed doors and stuff that we don't really see, and they spend a lot of time. And I would kind of attribute it to just scouting the coaching staff. Just having a plan up there and an approach, that helps a ton.
Jacob McGovern, this is for you. What was going through your head when you saw JJ hit the grand slam?
Oh, it was awesome, to see one of my teammates get to experience something like that. He's the one doing it, but we all feel the joy from it. So, it was huge to pull ahead in the lead like that early in the game, and I feel like it set the tone for the rest of the game.
Eric, you mentioned, contributions up and down the lineup, the 2-out hitting. One of the big storylines was sort of punishing mistakes, the Purify stolen base overturned. You sort of talk about your team's mentality and taking advantage of those situations.
Yeah, we just want to be the aggressor. In these types of settings, you hear about teams getting the breaks, but a lot of times you can make your own breaks just by being aggressive. So that's been one adjustment we've made in the last couple of weeks. It's just, if we're going to make mistakes, we're going to make them going fast, and we're going to be the aggressor, and we're going to go for it. you know, we went through those struggles and it really helped us to just free our minds up to just play and play mentally free. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now with guys just, you know, just cutting it loose and having a really good time out there.
Coach, how big was it for your pitching that y'all got those big runs at the end on the offensive side?
Well, it was huge because we had, you know, 3 guys that were hot or gonna get hot, you know, based on the score and the situation, but it was a combination of, you know, McGovern having a 1-2-3 inning in the 8th and 9th, and also us able to separate the game a little bit. If those were closer margin there, and, you know, it's a situation where, you know, the tying runs at the plate a whole lot easier than, you know, maybe we mix and match a little bit more, so. What McGovern did was just fantastic and, you know, helped save our bullpen, and, you know, we'll be a little thin going in tomorrow. We don't know who we're starting yet, but I know that everyone that's available is gonna give their best effort.
Any more questions for Ricky?
Coach, what can you tell us about lineup composition? This lineup seems to have really clicked. You're getting good at bats from Andrew Shufo down at the bottom, and everybody just seems really comfortable. I know you shuffled a little bit earlier. Is this the lineup moving forward?
Yeah, this feels like a good lineup. You know, it's just, you got combination of speed and power. It's balanced. We're getting contributions from everybody, and it, you know, it feels right. You get a spark in there like a TP Wentworth. We had a couple of injuries to McClatty and Becerra. They're out for the year, and that allows Crichton to settle in and just, you know, instead of platooning, he's in there every day. And, you know, when guys get that comfortability of knowing the lineup's going to be consistent, they, you know, it allows them to just play without the looking over their shoulder, so to speak. Like we jumbled the lineup a lot up early, and it didn't hurt us. It just feels like this is a really good lineup right now. Guys are having quality at bats, and we're scoring runs. That's what the whole point of the offense is, to score runs.
Coach, obviously you guys have known how good TP's been all year, but as this week felt like kind of a coming out party for him? I mean, he had a big defensive catch against NC State, big hit against NC State, big defensive catch today. Sorry, the other one was a throw. And then today was another big insurance at the end of the game.
Yeah, we've always known he was going to be a future star in our program. He's just that type of athlete, has that type of physical ability. It's hard in the post-COVID world for freshmen to jump into anyone's lineup at this level, but, you know, he just had to stay patient, and he kept working extremely hard. And he was, every time we'd hit on the field, he was smashing balls, and it felt like, you know, that he was kind of that next man up. And so he got an opportunity at Pitt, and he took advantage of it and hasn't looked back.
Any more questions? All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.